So Coach, a lot has changed since the first matchup between these two teams. You're looking forward to seeing how your team responds now that it's healthy and pretty much full.
Well, yeah, because I mean they're the standard right now. 42-7, and they're number one in defense, number one in offense. Have the reigning MVP of the league, and another guy that got 50 points in a game. So they're a very, very good basketball team.
You mentioned offensively they're number one in the league. They're basically a positionless team. What adjustments do you have to make defensively to try to stop these guys?
Well, the number one thing is that you got to try to do the best job you can to try to keep Giannis out of the lane, which is a lot easier said than done. Your transition defense has to be great because you got Bledsoe, who's a one-man fast break. They've got three-point shooters that run to the line in transition, so it becomes a really tough situation. You got to get back and be able to control the ball, but you also have to get back out to the three-point shooters. So, there's a reason that they are where they are right now.
Obviously, a lot of the attention on this matchup comes with Zion against Giannis. How much? I mean, obviously, people ask about it a lot.
You guys can try to come up with that one, and it's not Giannis against.
But how much do you look forward to the different tests that Zion gets as he goes through the NBA and starts to play?
I think that's a better question.
Yeah.
I do. It's going to be a learning experience for him. I mean, I think that obviously when you play against a team like this that like I said, that is as good defensively as they are offensively, you have to try to figure out how you can put guys in certain positions where he can be successful against what they're going to try to do. I think that becomes the issue right there.
Milwaukee is first in percentage of field goals allowed at the rim. They allow the few shots at the rim and the lowest field goal percentage. Just what kind of challenges do they present in terms of keeping proficient?
Well, what they're very good at is that you can't play in tight spaces with them. They got great hands. They do a tremendous job of protecting the basket. Lopez does a great job of protecting the basket, not necessarily being a shot blocker, but just playing angles and making it very difficult. So you have to be able to make some shots. You have to be able to make some perimeter shots, and you have to try to be in transition where you can get some easy baskets against this team before they get their defense set. Because once they get their defense set, they're very, very difficult to score against.
After Sunday, we mentioned you guys didn't get Zion the ball for the stretches of the whole game. When you do get to the fourth quarter or any stretch like that, how do you kind of make sure he stays in the flow of the offense instead of teams trying to just key on him, knowing that you want to get him?
And that was a little bit, I should have gone a little more in depth with that. We have to get him the ball, but he has to also have activity and he has to present himself for us to get him the ball. So it's just another learning experience for us. At the end of the day, the Houston game was, it didn't come down to us not getting him the ball. It came down to us turning the ball over almost 30 times, in an NBA game where you're not going to have any opportunity to win the game if you do that. But I do think that when he's out there, he has to have activity, and we have to also be aware of where he is. So it wasn't so much that we're going to try to throw it to him every time down the court, but we have to look at opportunities where we can get him the ball and try to exploit those opportunities.
You mentioned Middleton having a 51-point game. He's kind of one of the few guys in the league that still operates in that mid-range area. Just what kind of, even on the Bucks, he's one of the few guys on the Bucks that does.
Yeah, he is.
Go ahead.
I think he's one of those guys where, the analytics behind everything says you're better off shooting a three than, a long two. I think he's okay. I think they'll let him pass on the analytics part of it. He's a really, really good mid-range player. He's got good size. I think the thing with this team is if you look at them, they've got great chemistry. They've got tremendous chemistry. I think they've got a lot of respect for each other, and I think they do a great job of playing their role. Everybody forgetting that game, Eric Bledsoe had a pretty decent game too. I think he had 38 points or 35 points or something. So, you take a superstar and like Giannis, he's fine with it. I think their whole goal is to try to get to try to get to June. I think they feel like they let an opportunity slip away. So I think they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Yeah.
Zion's obviously going to play the majority of his career at the 4 position, and he'll have certain nights like tonight where guys will just be longer than him, taller than him. So what have you guys told him about using his strengths to kind of combat those kind of matchups where he's maybe might be not as long or as tall as the guy he's
He
going
just
against?
got to play his game. I mean, it's not going to come down to his matchup with Giannis. I mean, I know that sounds good, and if you guys were UFC, it would really sound good, but it's not going to come down to what he does and what Giannis does. I mean, it's a whole team game. We got to try to do everything we can to help contain Giannis, and I'm sure they'll do the same thing with all the guys on our team, like I said. So it makes for great TV, but it's for the guys out there, and we're going to have to play well as a team to have any chance of beating this team.